This mound of blanket looks awfully big. Maybe that's why. There's a pillow, but a pillow isn't that big either. Oh my goodness! It's Lily the cat! Hi there. How are you doing? I just wanted to say hi. Sorry to interrupt you, bud. I appreciate that you crawled under there as I'm getting ready for this video. I'll cover you back up. Hey, no, I'm just covering you back up. I think she'll get comfy. I hope. I hope she does. Alright. Well, anyways, we're going to eat Skeet back over here. I'm going to position this down just a smidge. And I think that'll work. I hope I sit in the middle of the shot. I think I am. I feel like I am. So I'm going to hope that I am. Don't really have a topic in mind for today. Just going to freeform talk. I'm filming this on Thursday. So I'm going to hopefully have this ready for Friday. And so I'll address a couple things. But first, song recommendations. Time to get out the phone, because I've got some lyrics up for some of these, which that helps a lot to be able to have a reference. So let's begin with Will You Be There by Michael Jackson off of Dangerous. Now, when talking about Dangerous, it's worth noting that you can feel Michael Jackson's artistic growth from earlier albums like Off the Wall and Thriller, even Bad. It goes for something a little different, for sure, and this is something more normal that you'd expect from him, I think. This is a little less out there. This sounds like something that, oh yeah, he could have maybe have put out previously. But, just talking about this song, I feel like it's loading weird. I think one of the main things worth noting with this song, and I know it is one of his big singles and such, it's one of the big singles from this album. So it's like, I don't know, I do like to try and highlight some smaller stuff a lot of the time, but I think this song's genuinely worth revisiting. One of the main things with it is the instrumentation is really good on this track. The keyboards are really good, but also the way that there's an orchestra and the way that it builds up throughout the song as the verses get a little more intense. You know, you got the first couple verses where he's just kind of, you know, think of it like talking out the words, you know, but still singing. Then you get the bridge sort of thing where he kind of gets a little more intense. The music builds up too. The backing music starts to build up too. And then you reach the big part where you have the chorus going in the background too. And it's just call back and forth kind of thing. And that part's so great. It's because, and the key change too. It's a perfectly paced song. I wouldn't say perfectly, but it's a really well paced song. I think it's really impressive. I just like listening to the song. The key change is really good. I think that Michael Jackson's ad-libs on this song are some of his best work because he doesn't overdo it. And it doesn't go on too long. It just, he keeps it to a point where it feels really right for this song. It doesn't just feel like he's doing it just to do it, you know. Yeah, and then of course that intro, only on the album version of the track, where there's just a choir intro where it sounds like something you hear in classical music. I mean, apparently there's actually German lyrics for it, which I don't know what those translate to. I apologize. My lyric page doesn't have the translation either. But I think this intro is really cool. It just builds into the song really well. Yeah, I think it's just a really nice song to listen to. I overall really like it. And I haven't even touched on the lyrics. I don't think I'm going to right now, because they're not exactly what I listen to too much when I listen to this song. I think it's more so the instrumentation and how it lightly changes the chords too at the end of the song. There's a lot I can comment on. Next up, the Doobie Brothers with Sweet Maxine off of Stampede. So I'm a big Doobie Brothers fan. I've been really just sinking in all the Doobie Brothers music in the last year or so, especially the past couple months during quarantine. I have been like just non-stop listening to the Doobie Brothers. Listening to a lot of live performances and such. It's really fun. And I realize I recommend another Doobie Brothers song in the video with Sean, and I'll explain that in a moment. But this one, Sweet Maxine, is one of my favorite tracks from Tom Johnston, who was the original band leader, frontman. So, a lot of great guitar in this song. Like, one of my favorite things is during the instrumental part. You get this sick part where the two guitars, technically it might be three on the album version, because, you know, there were 3 guitar players on the album. They all just get this big climax. It feels so good. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you listen to it. I overall really like the feel of it. What I will say too is that the piano intro is nice. It overall has a lot of good keys throughout the whole song. And there's a live performance from the Living on the Fault Line tour where Michael McDonald does this extended intro to it. And it's really nice. It's very jazzy. A lot of the chords just feel really right. And I love when he gradually builds into the actual chords that are used in the song. And it just feels so good. And then there's this part where they're kind of like giving you a taste of what the song's going to build into. Where John Hartman, I don't even know what he's playing. Just some added percussion. Keith Knutson's hitting some hits on the drum. I think it's a really cool live performance. I just overall really like this song. And this song, I do want to check out the lyrics because I was checking them out yesterday and I was like, these are actually pretty cool. She can capture your heart when they start the music playing. Sparkle in her eyes, you better be wise or you will end up losing your mind. I said, baby, pretty baby, gotta get my hands on you. Some's gotta hold on me. Like, these are really interesting. Like, for me, I look at that as, and I'm losing my train of thought, so I apologize. It feels to me like they're really after her, but she could be sneaky, you know? So, I don't know. I really like it. Like, listen to this, too. She's the answer to a poor boy's dream. Never seen such a sweet young thing. She's a teaser, love to squeeze her, an actress from a fantasy scene. Like, sounds better than it actually is, you know? Those are really nice lyrics, I think. Very interesting, too. I don't know, I've never really checked out the Tom Johnston lyrics, so I was pretty impressed by them. Yeah, overall, and then there's that part at the end where they have the two kind of parts from the song, like the part where they're going, she's got the pow or inner soul, and then the actual chorus of the song. They have them both going at the same time, and it works really well. Yeah, that's a good build-up, good climax to the song, good end, I think. Last song, then, for today, and you can see the Charlie XCX cover on my phone, because we were listening to it yesterday. I Wouldn't Ask You by Clairo off of 2019 album. Yes, again, I'm trying to include some modern music. Immunity. This is not only my favorite track from the album, but probably one of my favorite songs in general. I Wouldn't Ask You. What I like about this song is that it's one of the longest ones on the album, first off, and you can separate the song into 2 different sections. This slower paced portion at the beginning, and it's interesting because she uses vocoding, auto-tune and such, and I think it's subtle enough, but I think she uses it to like explore weakness and such, and just better express how she's feeling, you know? It's not a thing she uses always, but it's simply to, when there's a point where she's struggling, I think then she wants to use autotune to help express that, which I think is really interesting. I'll admit, you know, autotune is something that can be hard to get used to, but it's not always bad. I think there are definitely artistic uses for it. And I think Clairo is one of those artists who does use it well. So the slower paced portion at the beginning is really nice, but what I like is when it switches, it always just hits. The vibe just hits me really well, and I'm like, oh. Especially when listening to the album. Like, I remember when I first listened to the whole album when it came out. I was awaiting it coming out. I listened to on the front porch, just chilled and looked up at the stars and listened to the whole album, and that part hit, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this, man. It was good. I think it's a really strong way to end the album. It just sets itself apart. Looking at Genius, I'm taking this from Genius. From an interview with her, it's taking a while to load. What she says the song's about, if I can, there we go. She sings about a time when she was hospitalized from severe juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, I apologize if I mispronounced that, and cared for by her boyfriend at the time. And throughout the song, Clairo expresses gratitude to her lover for being her caretaker, while also conveying varying degrees of intimacy. And again, this points out how the song has the two different sections. And so in the first part, she's more vocoded. You know, describes how she's doing, feeling helpless, isolated. And then when the song gets into the second section, she's in a position where she can express the intimacy more, and that's paraphrasing from the Genius, and the interview therefore too, but I think it's just an interesting song to check out. I think you won't be disappointed. Let me check time real quick. You know what I really need to do is, one of these times, is actually... Well, I did it with Sean, but I didn't do it here. I need to use my phone as a timer, and then I can just look at that, you know, and then be like, oh, I'm roughly there. I'm glad I spent a long time talking about the music this time, because I don't have too much to talk about otherwise. So just talking about a couple things. Obviously the video with Sean. I am going to do some editing on that one. Not a ton, but just a little bit. I think it'll help the video out a little bit, just make it look a little cleaner. I'm also, yeah, still not sure about the thumbnail, so I need to find a spot in the video and, like, chop it out and such. It's also that I, quite frankly, haven't done a ton of video editing in the last couple years, and I have to learn a new program, and you know, I need to refresh myself. So, I'm also, like, not wanting to do that because I'm lazy, and at the same time, it's just, there's a lot going on, you know. I work 2 jobs, and, I don't know. I mean, I just finally now have 2 full days off a week, and I hadn't had that for almost a couple months, and it's just kind of like, sometimes you don't really want to do stuff on that day off, you know. You just want to do nothing, and you need to do nothing, and I also need time to be involved socially, so it's hard to get myself to do it. It's hard to be motivated and productive during these times, so you know, I take what I can get. Like, I mean, same thing with music, you know, when I be like, yeah, you know, I'm wanting to compose stuff or write stuff, and I just never do it. I mean, at the very least, I have a couple arrangements started, which is good, but yeah, I definitely would like to be working a little faster at that than I am, but that's all right. We'll get there. And I was thinking too, it's like I have one that's almost done. I just need to do probably 8 measures of arranging, and then it's done in the middle of the song, the solo section. So, yeah, maybe I should do that. That's going to be the toughest part of the song to arrange, but I should do it, and then it'll be done. And then I can focus on the new one that I just started. And then it'd be a lot easier if I completed one and then started another one. I don't know. Maybe that'd be easier. Yeah, I've been streaming. We streamed Jackbox on Tuesday night. That went really well. I was pretty happy with that, you know. It was a fun stream, I think. Just chilling with people. And I'm looking at, if it works out, streaming next Tuesday night, 7:30ish, somewhere around that time on my Twitch, and playing some more Jackbox party games, which, if you don't know what those are, it's basically like you buy one of these party packs, and they have a big selection of games, not big, but, you know, a selection of games they've created to choose from and play, and you can play them locally or non-locally. You just need Wi-Fi, and you need one person to own the game, and then you log in on your phone on a web browser. It can be any web browser. It can even be on like a laptop or a desktop or something, and play along. And you don't need to own the game to do that. I'm talking so much. I haven't drank anything today because I just got up. My throat's dry. I'm sorry. So yeah. We're gonna look at doing that next Tuesday. I want to get a decent amount of people there. I think it'll be fun. 2 minutes, and yeah, cool. So last thing then is, I will admit that yesterday we filmed something. If you're familiar with Sean's performances of him playing piano online, we're working on setting one up, filming one. Oh, I really need water. My throat is really dry. I'm sorry. We're working on setting up a performance of Sean playing, but it's like competently produced video. You know, it's not just, hey, we're gonna film this and upload it. You know. Not like what I'm doing right now, you know. It's going to be more so a thing where we're editing it and getting a couple special shots for it and whatnot, and I'm really excited about this. We did a lot of the work last night. We're going to do a little more tonight, and then we're going to piece it together tonight, I think. And I don't know when it's going to debut. That's up to Sean, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm hoping that we get to, you know, do a couple more of these before the summer's done. Just fun videos of people performing, and like nicely shot too, you know, with a couple different angles and all that. It just sounds nice. Apparently I should have grabbed water. Wow. I don't know. I think that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed. That's all I got. So have a good one. I hope that you can find some productivity, and if you can't, that's okay. It's hard to find that during these times. So yeah.